What's up, everybody? We're letting some people get in on the chat. It's Amazing Met Zone presents Friends of Flushing. We're live from Citi Field. It's a little loud. I'm going to tap in Phil from Shirley and Jumanati82. I'm going to give you a live view while everybody's talking and chatting in the chat. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Let's watch this game and have some fun talking.
What
Yeah. Let's go.
What's up, boys?
Face is juice.
Looking good tonight.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yo, boys. Holy mustache. My mustache.
Look at the stash.
Holy.
Look at the stash. Should be playing for the Yankees with that stash.
Oh, dude.
Look at that thing.
Bro. That is hilarious.
That thing is pretty though.
He said that is hilarious.
That is great.
Hey, listen, it gets me out of taking my kids to school. You know, they won't let me on the school premises.
Bro. Now I feel bad for your students, though.
Looking like
my wife hates it. There. Everyone hates it, but I like it.
I love that shit, but
yeah, it goes back in like my beard goes quick, so why not?
I feel like my internet tonight is going to be classic, Shirley internet.
Oh man, here we go. Yeah, Bobby, my Mets hype said Bobby Valentine disguise.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yo, how about Max getting hurt? I mean, wild stuff.
Yeah, man.
That's gotta be Cohen's best move so far.
Oh,
Yo, is it too loud for you guys, or you all right?
Nah,
it's a little loud, but
I'll mute from time. I'll mute and then jump in.
We feel like we're there.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. I'm gonna mute it for now, and then I'll come back on.
All right.
You guys chop it up.
Yo, so like I said, just excited about Max. Like, not excited, but obviously, like, you feel like a little bit of, like a sense of relief. I didn't want to see him do good.
Yeah, no, I mean, after I'm a Jets fan, so it's tough. We had a big injury. We had a big injury come up for us, so I don't like wishing injuries on anyone right now. But at the same time, I mean, how can you not be happy that Max shut down for the season? I love DeGrom, but DeGrom was shut down for the season. Like these two pitchers that were our studs, like if we had them, we would be in the same boat, without any of these prospects.
What up, Roy?
Look at these guys we got for them.
Top fan rivalry wants to join the chat. Join the video.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Hey, get him in. Get him in.
That's Bill.
How about Stearns too? I mean, I feel like Epler's still going to be there.
Hey, what's up, Bill?
Hello, Bill. How are you, sir?
Going on? Welcome.
You bet. I just wanted to say hi to you guys, man.
Yeah.
A bit of Met love out there, right?
Yeah, we got our main man Roy in the stadium.
I see that.
Yeah,
live and direct.
It's always fun having them live in the stadium.
So Roy, tell me straight up. It looks like the crowd's a little light tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to one of the ushers. I think they said it was maybe like 13,000, 14,000.
Yeah, it's expected.
Yeah, so when night, back to school, it was
Went
raining
to
earlier.
D-backs. I know D-backs in the playoffs, but still.
Which is like 12,000 more than the A's are getting, right, fellas?
This is true. Bill, how do you feel about? We'll start real quick, Bill. I want to hear. First, how long have you been a Met fan for, Bill?
Bill's a Dodger
lost
fan.
Bill. Bill's a Dodger fan.
Yeah, Bill's a Dodger fan.
Oh, good for Bill. Lucky him.
He's rolled through the bad times and the good times, Bill.
Yeah.
I think he got offended. You called him a Met fan. He signed off. Yeah.
Just
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Is it-
born and raised, baseball fan overall.
Love it.
And I've seen, so my pitching coach growing up played against he played for almost every team, and offline I'll tell you who it is, guys. Online I'm not going to do it. But he played against the Mets in the 88 series. I always love it when the Mets and Dodgers meet up because it's LA, New York, right? Doesn't get any better than that. So
No, 100%.
So can I comment on your Max?
Yeah.
Your Max?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I kind of sort of feel like you do with a twist, right? So I think Max got fed a bill of goods, right? Thinking, hey, the team wanted, and Drew and I talked about this offline before we recorded the podcast, but he said straight out, listen, I mean, Max said straight out, hey, I thought I was coming here to win. I didn't know you guys didn't want to be competitive till 2024. But the second that he opened his mouth, man, Uncle Stevie sent him. And kind of rightfully so, because part of what I think they hired Max for and Kate Upton for was to get both of those guys veteran leadership for the younger guys that you guys are bringing up. What they did on the field is a bonus, but honestly, is some guy, if any of the four of us came up to the majors right now and JV was sitting next to us in the dugout, are we going to go tell him to pound sand?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
No.
So I don't like to see him get hurt, but I also, it's almost like the baseball gods heard him complaining too much and said, oh yeah, watch this.
Yeah. And I want to take that back in a sense. Like, I don't want to see the guy get hurt. I just want to see not good things happen to him. It just so happened that getting hurt is not a good thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. And honestly, guys, and I don't mean to hijack your live. My apologies.
No, not at all. Not at
We
all.
love having you on. That's for sure.
But you know, I said this on my live this morning in the leagues this morning, which Drew, I got to figure out a way to get you on, but that's at 11 o'clock in the morning your time, right?
I know. The other day I signed in, I was actually teaching.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't go live right now.
You're on.
Yeah.
One of these days when you're. But one of the things that I said was, when I play against a team, I want to beat your best. I don't want to, you know, if I come to New York, I don't want Pete, I can't find the jersey correctly, Alonso to be on the IL, right? Beat your best. I want to beat Francisco Lindor. Brandon Nimmo, I like that guy, man. That guy is good for your team and for your clubhouse, and I don't want to see those guys get hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, too, when people pop off, like we had a situation, and I'm not going to even mention the name, but we had a situation out here in LA last Sunday that ended a guy's career for the most part for right now. At least I can't imagine that anybody in the MLB is going to hire that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want him in Queens?
No.
I mean, can you see any mom right now running out and buying him buying that jersey, that name on the back of it?
No way.
He'll be with Trevor Bauer in Japan.
Exactly. And you know, as much as it sucks that it happened, it sucks even more for the victim, right? Let's not lie. The victim, that just sucks. But man, I got to tell you that you know, you don't want to see. And somebody asked me, okay, what's the Dodgers rotation look like? And I'm like, a lot of prayer is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because we got guys that graduated from high school last year that are going to be pitching in the divisional series, it feels like. And some of them are going to have to get permission slips from their parents because they're in junior high school right now. It's
tough when a guy goes down like that with a bonehead, you know, thing that you can control. That's got to hurt. You know, it's not like an injury. It's not like there's so many other things that could have happened where he's not playing. Something like that where it's like you're just a piece of garbage and like something that you control. That's terrible.
Yeah. I'm a big, what are you going to do for me on the field? You know, just like Dro kind of made a point, but he went a little extreme in a sense. But I will agree that I'm willing to, you know, to a certain extent. But it's a big thing with a clubhouse. The clubhouse is a big aspect to it. You don't want to lose guys in the clubhouse. Ooh, what a play over there.
Nice play.
Well, I mean, some of these guys get jobs again.
Yeah.
Ozuna's still playing, and he had a you know, crazy domestic violence dispute, and You know,
That,
it's
that was
someone sometimes.
Remember when he got pulled over for DUI?
Yes. Yeah. And he tried to say that he's a
I'm
major
a
league
brave.
ball player.
I'm a brave.
Yeah.
Speaking of
The guy was like, all right, cool.
speaking of guys getting hired and stuff too, you know, how do you guys feel about Stearns now as the president
Yeah, that was
of
my next
baseball operations?
question for Bill. I want to hear what Bill has to say about
Yeah.
Stearns.
Offense is good, defense is good, but the best part's the cheerleaders. Like, it's gonna be. It's what, man. You got some good seats right there. Say hi to Pete for me, would you? Tell him I'll stop sending him a voicemail if he calls me. That's my joke, fellas. I'm like, oh, he called me yesterday, but I sent him a voicemail. It, you know, I don't. I let's wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's early. It's really early on, and I mean, it's like the age-old theory, right? So Perry Manassian's dad wrote a book called Lasorda University and was on my podcast. And so I asked his dad offline, and I'm not going to tell you what he said right here, but I asked his dad offline, is he going to be the guy that trades Ohtani and trades Trout? Well, now Ohtani's going to sign for peanuts, right? Because he's going to have surgery.
Peanuts, but yeah, I know what you mean compared to
$650 million over 10 years. He's not getting that anymore.
3-4 though, maybe, right? 4 probably.
3 or 4, probably 100, 150. Because the teams and it sucks for any injury, but this plays in the Angels' favor, right? Because let me ask you fellas right now, you guys are trying to rebuild. Do you want to pay Ohtani $200 million for 4 years, basically to hire a DH?
Yeah, I don't want to. We talked about this before. I just feel like we need too many things to bring in a guy like Ohtani. It's almost like I'd rather spread that money around and get a couple players. I know he could bring, 2 aspects when he's healthy, but still, I think we need much more things.
So play it like this. So let's say, and I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but let's say Pete twists his ankle and at first base on a play in April, right? He's out for 3 weeks. He comes back, but they really don't want him playing the field. They just want him to DH. What happens if you have this guy Ohtani on your team? Then who sits?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Right?
You're right. You can. I hate any time you have your like a set DH when you just have a guy out there that's got a DH every day. I love having the ability to rotate that position, use guys when they can sit a guy, keep guys fresh in the sense of in the field. So having that like set DH to me, I don't know. Sometimes I just don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like
Well,
that's the boat we're in with Vientos. Vientos is a young player. I don't know how he's gotten this far without knowing how to play defense. And like you said, a Mike Stanton, like those guys who are just DH, like that 10, 15 years ago, that's cool. But right now, you need to play the field, And thinking back when the NL didn't have a DH, I thought this was going to be great to have a DH, but this is the problem you run into.
Dro in the chat says someone's going to pay Ohtani $60 million, for 8 years. You know what? I could see somebody getting desperate and doing something, but only a couple teams. And I think that injury and that question of how long is he going to be a starting pitcher? How long is he going to pitch, period? I think he can play outfield, though. If he's not going to pitch at all, I think he does have that aspect where you're not going to have to just dedicate him to the DH role,
Yeah.
Maybe. It depends on how strong his arm is, right? He's 29, right? This is first Tommy John, right? Surgery. So, it's not Tommy John, but he's probably going to have surgery. So he's 29 years old. He probably won't pitch past 35, maybe. So now if you hire him, let's say you do give him a 10-year deal. Effectively, what you're doing is saying 5 years, we want you to be a unicorn. Oh, but by the way, next year you're only going to have half of a season as a unicorn because you're going to have to recover from your surgery, like Bryce did. And then 4.5 years of you being a unicorn in hopes that you do awesome. Oh, and then the other 5 years, we're just hiring a full-time DH.
Yeah. No, I look at it too. Is there going to be a time where he becomes a reliever too, where you kind of stretch that, where he's not a starter anymore, and you use him like twice a week, come in and pitch 2 innings? Like, I feel like there's going to be a time where he tries to start for a couple of years, and then maybe you got 2 years of that. I mean, we really don't know. You know, he's such a freak. Ohtani could go, you know, the next 8 years after he recovers, obviously, from the injury. He can go back to pitching and doing exactly what he's doing, you know?
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I agree. But there's 100 you know, out of the 30 teams, I can only name 4 or 5 that it would make sense outside of the Angels for somebody to sign them because of the your team is a perfect example. I'd much rather have Francisco Lindor if he gets hurt, or Nimmo, or Pete Alonso. I'd much rather have those guys as your full-time DH than I would want Ohtani. I mean, again, Ohtani's got an oblique injury now, right? He's been out for, 9 or 10 games. So pretty soon the Angels are going to shut him down for the whole season, because what are they playing for right now?
Yeah.
Nothing.
How about, too, with Buck, with bringing Stearns in? What's the timeline on Buck? Like, how short is the leash, do you feel? Both you guys. We'll go to Bill first.
It's hard. You're talking about Showalter. So
yes, Buck. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just making sure that, because I see there's a couple of Dodger fans on here, and I'm sure they're going, Buck who? So I'm just, boys, I mean, because I've seen them come in. So here's my take on that. Is Buck has won, and Buck has won pretty consistently. Being a manager in baseball is probably, outside of being outside of being maybe the president of the United States, one of the worst jobs to have, because you are legit stuck between management and your players. Personally, I think Buck has done a really good job managing in a unique situation this season. I also think he's done a really good job managing last year. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of a meltdown at the end of last season, but that's not on him unless he's making bad managerial decisions, which half the time that comes from upstairs. So my answer would be, and I'm a big proponent. So there's a number of people out here in LA that were saying fire in May, in June. In June, when the Dodgers were 4 games behind the Diamondbacks, fire Dave Roberts. What is Dave Roberts doing? Okay, guys, we have a terrible pitching staff right now because everybody's injured. We're working with Lance, I need a treadmill Lynn, as our best pitcher, right? And now we have the second best record in the National League. I'm not trying to rub this in, fellas, but now we're trying to get a second.
I mean, you got a poor
we don't
man's
feel sorry for
problem
you
right now. You guys are a rich man's problem. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But people, like, now we're all these jokers that were saying fire Dave Roberts 3 months ago. It's a long season. So personally, I'm not a big fan of fire the manager because it didn't work out. Because Buck doesn't pick up a bat. Buck doesn't execute a hit and run. Buck doesn't have to throw strikes. It's not his fault if he puts a guy in and he throws 10 out of 12 balls.
Right.
That's
like last season he got all the glory, and this season they're gonna tear him down. I personally think that Buck's gonna step down next season, and I think that's just the way he's gonna go out. You know, instead of them letting him go, I think they want to go in another direction, especially with this new president of baseball operations coming in. I think he wants his guy. But I don't think Buck is really doing a bad job. And like Dro just said, you know, manager takes all the fall.
Yep.
And that's, like you said, it's like almost like the president. You know, it's like when gas prices go down, the president's great. When gas prices go up, the president's crazy.
Though. The thing that drives me crazy about Buck, and I'll start with him up top, is just the way we were as a team this year. I felt like, you know, for lack of a better word, we were just a bunch of pussies. You know what I mean? And it drove me crazy. And there was times where I don't want to blame him all the way at the top, but I feel like you got to blame somebody. And with the way the team was, I just felt like if we had a young, like, I couldn't imagine a young, fiery manager, like Dro was saying, to bring someone like that and letting some of this stuff go down, getting hit that many times and not reacting. And just, you know, you just didn't see the fire in the players. Like, they weren't ready to fight for each other. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you're Stearns and you're coming in now, how long before you want to bring in your own guy? You know, you're the president of baseball operations. You know, you want to hire your guy.
So what's let me ask you two this then. So what's the risk here, right? So you're Stearns, right? And you said, I want my dude, right? And your dude goes out there, that's worse than Buck did this season, then that's all on you, right?
Yes.
So personally, if I had my choice and I were him, I might say, maybe I'll hold off. Maybe I'll hold off a year, let Buck run it out a year. Let's see how it rolls before I start making major decisions. Because then it's all on me. And then I'm answering to Uncle Stevie saying, hey, I brought my guy in. And Uncle Stevie says, yeah, we're worse than we were last year.
Yep.
But how many excuses do you get?
100%.
Right?
100%.
I think Joe brought up the point, like on the chat. Joe brought up the point that I kind of wanted to say is last year I felt like Buck was coming out of the dugout like every 3 games fighting for his players. Maybe this year, like they don't have the same desire, but at the same time, like I feel like he was getting thrown out a lot last year and fighting for his players. But Bill, I think that's a great point. Like does Stearns want to bring someone in that's just going to be a punching bag and then like it looks like, look what you did. Your first initiative was to bring in this schmo, and now what do we do? And I feel like maybe they give Buck another year, and if he does well, it's good. If he does terrible, that's good for Stearns too, because then he brings in his guy.
I think he's under the strongest of a microscope, where by June or July, by All-Star break, where it's like, hey, if we're not in it, then that's where he makes the decision. I think you are right in that sense. He doesn't fire him and start the season with somebody new. I think that he gives it that leeway to see where they're at.
Yeah.
So are you guys hockey fans at all up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a big hockey fan. I know Phil is though.
All right. So Phil, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if I'm playing for you, right? What happens if we're down 7-1 going into the third period, and it's 3 minutes left in the game, and I get an instigator penalty? What happens?
You get an extra. There's a penalty. You get a penalty, basically, like another guy goes to the box.
And what happens to you as the head coach?
You get suspended for a game.
You get fined $10,000. Okay. Now, I grew up as an LA King fan. I used to have season tickets. We had a guy named Andy Murray who the players couldn't stand. In one night, when the organization hadn't made a change, in one night, there were 5 instigator penalties in the last 5 minutes of the game. It cost the coach $50,000 to show up to work that night. And the next day he was fired. That was the player saying, get this guy out
of here. Yep.
In baseball, it's too long of a season for that. You're not playing 82 games. You're playing 162. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, by the All-Star break, you'll know. But, again, how do you the Mets have the same problem as the Dodgers. Every single time the Mets are playing, every single time the Dodgers are playing, they're looking for a 5-run home run. We're not putting the ball in play and moving runners around.
Yep.
Right? And so,
shout out to Kirby.
I love Kirby. How do you not love Kirby?
Who doesn't love Kirby?
We have the best base coaches in baseball, Kirby and Cora.
Yeah.
Kirby, we all love you, Kirby.
There you go. So, yeah, I don't know. It just depends. Again, it's really, really hard. How does the manager take the fall when you're up 3 runs and you bring in a relief pitcher and he walks the first 2 batters and the next batter he gives up a home run? When you have the three batter rule, okay? How is that the manager's fault?
Yeah.
Right?
I get that, but like I said, Vintage actually just brought this up too. If Stearns really is one of the best baseball minds, he knows we need new life in that clubhouse. And I think that's the biggest thing, just the life in the clubhouse. Yeah. I think that has to change. You know what I mean? It really does. Like watching this team on a nightly basis this year, it's just you don't see that fight at all. You don't have to like the guy, but you got to be willing to fight for the guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And at the end of the day, what's the biggest cure? What's the biggest cure for clubhouse unity?
Winning.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So go win a game or 2 and see how things, change. I mean, fellas, we all tried to ask out that one girl and she said no. Yeah. Right? And our confidence was this high. And we all asked out that one girl one time and she said yes. And we ran to our buddies to say she said yes and forgot to make plans with her because we were so stoked that she said yes. We've all had this. Don't tell me I'm the only one because I'm going to call you both liars if you say that I'm the only one. It's happened to all of us, right? And so, but winning is the best solution do clubhouse, right?
Yep.
If Pete's 0 for 7, but the team is winning, his confidence is up. But if Pete's 0 for 7 and they're on a 3-game losing streak, his confidence is down because he's trying to do too much. He's trying to win it with one swing.
100%.
Yeah. Vince is just laughing at me. That's okay. I'll be here till next Wednesday. Tip the waitress. You know what I mean? Come on. So, here's my question for you guys, though. Here's my question for you guys. And this is kind of one of those dangerous ones, but what happens if Philly and Atlanta meet in the playoffs? Who do you think has the advantage after what you're seeing right now, currently? I know it's hard. That's like asking me about the Giants.
Yeah. I know, it's tough. That's a tough question.
I feel like I'll jump on that first. I feel like if it's a 5-game series, I think it's going to be tougher for Atlanta. I think they need the 7-game series aspect because of just having those 2 starters. They got to lean on those 2 guys. They don't really have the bullpen either. So I just look at it like you need Fried and Strider to win their games. You know what I mean? They got to pitch.
They were a little banged up this year, too. Wasn't Strider banged up?
Yeah, but he's back. He's back.
No, yeah. I'm just saying, just like in just some,
I mean, and they've been too hot. In my eyes, they've been too hot all year. I've been waiting for them to cool off.
Yeah.
I've been shocked they haven't. But to answer your question, I still think Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
If that game happens, though, I hope just like,
they both lose.
Maybe like the tornado hits the stadium or something.
That's a good question.
Guys,
what up, Roy?
Just double check the chat to see if there's any questions or anything
Oh,
going on through there.
Yeah.
I don't see any questions.
All right, and then there's somebody that's been trying to request to join, King Coley, 879.
No, we don't want to talk to him. We don't want no part of him. He's just a local drunk that'll come in here and we'll just have to kick him out. You know what I mean?
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Good thing we vet our guests.
I'm gonna have to about 5 minutes, but I got one more question for you fellas. Okay.
Go ahead.
And by the way, I'd love to get all of you guys on sometime. Rivalry live. This would be a good time. Roy, don't get hit by a foul ball, man.
Make a play, Roy. Make a play.
This guy's reading the chat. Boom. So here's my question for you. Okay, out west here, there's a guy that's announced that he's not going to come back to a specific team. Blake Snell. Would you guys offer him decent money to play in New York, or is he kind of like he doesn't pitch enough? I don't like what I see from him. Yada yada yada. Where are you at?
That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough one.
To me, I feel like if I'm getting Blake Snell, I definitely need to get another guy better. Like he cannot be our one, if in my eyes. How much money are we giving him? It's a big question. Like, if we're giving him top dollar and other teams are bidding on it, I don't want him. I'd much rather take chances on a Japanese pitcher or a guy like I don't know if Urias ever going to become a free agent. If that happens, I'd love to jump on him. He's a guy I like a lot better. I can't see the Dodgers parting ways with him, but I'd love to get him.
Don't say Dodgers, Padres.
No, he's saying Urias, though.
I'm saying Urias.
I don't think Urias is going to pitch in the major leagues again, to be honest with you. But I think Snell's a good option if you get like Phil said, if you're getting someone else too.
Yeah.
You need to get someone else. You need to get Yamamoto. You need to try to pull someone else out of the hat. You can't just rely on Snell and Senga next year. And McNeil, Peterson and McGill like that, and that's not gonna cut it. I think Uncle Stevie's gonna spend a little bit of money. I know he got burned on those 2 contracts, but I think he's gonna spend smart money this year. And I know Bill, you and I talked about that big paycheck that he has, but I don't know. I don't think Snell's a terrible option compared to what else is out there. I mean, him and Senga are like top, I think, in the NL and ERA this year.
Yeah.
I know that's not really a great indicator, but at the same time, I don't think he's a terrible option. But like Mark NY825 says, I'm good on Urias. I don't want that guy anywhere close to my team. Like if a guy does that, that's like his second time doing it. Like, come on, man, get a understand what's going on here.
So
yeah.
So here's what I would say, fellas. Pay attention to whether or not Blake Snell is out there and you can get him for a relative discount. I'm talking 80 million, maybe over 5 seasons, maybe 70. And
I
don't.
think 130 probably, right? Like the money these guys get.
He's trying to get 100, but there's still a question of whether or not he can pitch past the 5th inning.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to prove that.
Yeah.
The other guy that needs a start and has had a terrible season, but with the right coaching and a good restart, and in New York, this may be a good restart for him, is Lucas Giolito. He's been been terrible. He hasn't done anything for himself, but he needs a fresh restart. And obviously Anaheim dumped him. LA, the Dodgers aren't going to chase after him. Just a side note before I go, thank you. First of all, fellas, thank you so much for letting me be on.
Hey, thanks
I
for coming
love
on.
you. I follow all of your pages. And I love the fact we're going to do a watch party out there next season. I'm going to be at Citi Field. I'll let all of you guys know ahead of time.
Awesome.
But here's something real quick on a somewhat serious note. People have mentioned Julio Urias. We did a live, and Drew, I think you popped on it for 30 seconds, or I don't remember if you did or not. But But I did a live with a guy named Dodger Danny and Mikey and a retired detective from the LAPD.
Yep.
Okay, about DV, about domestic violence. If you don't want to admit it, or if you know somebody that isn't comfortable with it, on our page, there is national hotline numbers to call. So if you're in a bad situation, don't let it get worse. There's national numbers to call on our page. I don't mean to change the subject about that, fellas.
No, it's important to bring that up. Definitely.
And it's a serious thing because this guy, I mean, what he did to his girlfriend or wife or whatever they're considering it.
I don't know the details. See, I stay away from all that. And then you hear things like that.
He literally threw up against a fence and started beating her up, and then got her in a car and started beating her up even worse. And
I mean,
there's never an appropriate time for that.
No, and that's not someone you ever want representing your team.
No,
I'm the biggest Met fan in the world, and if they ever sign him, I probably wouldn't watch a game. I probably wouldn't go to a game. Like as big of a fan as I am, and I love doing Amazing Met Zone. I feel like there's no place for that on our
100%.
team, and Alex Cohen, I don't think would ever stand for that.
I agree.
She's amazing,
No,
and I think that.
I
don't care how good you are.
Yep,
doesn't matter.
Exactly. Well, fellas, I got to go because I got dinner, and then I've got 3 more of these things to do, including one at 9:30. So, Drew, thank you for letting me on.
Yes, anytime, Bill.
Pleasure.
Hey, thank you for signing in.
Pleasure. Hey, good luck, and please beat those fucking Braves, all right?
Yeah, please.
Get a bleep button, Phil.
I'm sorry.
And do me a favor, fellas. When you guys have a schedule, maybe the 3 of you guys work it out. Let me know when you're available, maybe next week, and I'll be on a live.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
Without a doubt.
Pleasure.
Guys.
Thank you, Bill.
You bet.
Yeah, if you guys aren't checking it out, if you're not checking out Top Fan Rivalry, make sure you're checking out Top Fan Rivalry. That was Bill from Top Fan Rivalry.
Also, Drew, you have the info for the vintage viewing party this Saturday?
Yeah, there we go.
I don't have any of that. I have like the
Saturday.
info.
How you like this? This is off the dome. I don't remember it's this Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's this Saturday. Murphy's Astoria.
Yep.
At 5 p.m.
Ooh, what is that?
We got a signed ball by Pete Alonso, and he signed a polar bear.
First of all, can we talk about the superstar? Can we talk about the superstar?
Cam.
Look at him, ready to go. He's ready for the call right now, ready to step in there and take an at bat. Stud.
Yeah, guys, if you this guy, it's not.
Did any of them ask for your autograph, Cam? That's what I want to know.
Right? They actually take pictures with him.
That's what I want to hear. Good. The superstar.
Is Camo right that I have this mustache? Is he getting worried?
Cam, he said, "Are you all right with his mustache?" He said, "Nah, bro."
He said, "Stranger danger."
He said, "It looks like a turd on your lip."
Yo, speaking of young studs too, Jet Williams.
Oh, there's Hirsh. What up,
Hirsh?
What up?
Hirsh made it out here.
I like that shirt, Hirsh.
I don't know what I'd do without these. Drew said he liked the shirt.
Good stuff.
Yep, athlete
Exactly.
logos.
How
Yes,
was
yes.
the
Give
the,
them a
pre-
shout
the
out.
press pass today? You know, for people that don't know, Cam and Roy got to be down in the press box, ask some questions. We're gonna get videos of that later on.
Yes,
But
we
Roy,
got
how
some
was that, man?
videos.
How
That
was
was
that
pretty cool,
experience?
man. It was cool to interact with the guys. You know, I mean, the time was limited because you know they had to warm up and you know get in the, like to practice. But hold on one second, boys. Let it like calm down a little bit over here.
Oh, make a play, make a play.
The Bobby Valentine stash, everyone's calling it. It's not a
70s
disguise,
porn
guys.
stash right there.
It's a real mustache. It's not a
There you go.
disguise.
Nah, but all in all, man, they're about to start singing the 8th inning song. So the interviews were great. We got videos of that. The guys, you know, they did as much as they could to accommodate us, but they had to go in and practice and go over a game for today. So we got a little bit with that. We were able to see and sit in with Buck for the the
With the
how do you
pregame
say it?
interview.
Pre-game interview. There you go. There you go. So that was cool. You know, some questions. I have some audio on that, and
So
we'll do something with that also. But they weren't allowed. We weren't allowed to film that interview with Buck, but I was able to audio record it.
City Boy Dre asked, did Beatty get hurt? I didn't see. Did Beatty just get hurt?
Beatty got. They took Beatty out. I was on here on the live, so I didn't actually see what happened with the play, but they did take Beatty out.
Damn, that's not good.
I was
So,
looking at
yo,
his stats since he's been called up, and you know he hasn't been doing as
anybody
good.
else wants to tap in, let me know. I'll tap them in. I'm gonna mute this because it's gonna get loud,
Yep.
so you guys can talk.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Speaking of young studs, Drew, like I was saying, how about Chet Williams getting called up
I
already,
love
going up
that.
to WA,
I mean,
double A?
yeah, that kid's 19 years old and he's, just crushing the ball. He's passed his 30-something days in Brooklyn and went right to Binghamton. And I mean, the guy, he could be a stud. I love these guys that we have, just marinating in our farm system. And we keep saying it. That's what Steve Cohen wanted to do, build our farm system. And we have, Jet Williams, Parada, Acuna, Gilbert, Blade Tidwell, Vassell. We have these kids, man, and we need some pitching, right? That's all really like. I'm the only thing that's like a void in our farm system. I mean, but we have a couple of guys that can come up. Before Dro even said, like, Lucchese's looking all right. Like, he's not looking that bad. Like, I mean,
no, he is.
that curve.
He's pitched good enough to get a spot to at least be looked at as the 5/bullpen, like having another lefty in the pen.
Yeah,
he's pitched that good.
I don't know
to
why
get that
not. I think he's proved himself.
Shout out
damn
to everybody in the chat too. Thank you for joining us.
Johnny B. Fitted, all the City Boys, City Boy Dre.
Anybody want to tap in?
Vinta said not here for Joey. I mean, I see what he's saying, but like next year, what else do we have going? If we're not signing anybody,
like a spot starter, I don't want him.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's like our number 2 or number 3.
Exactly.
I think he's a back end 5.
Shout out,
5. Why not? The guy's likable,
and he's pitched well.
Yeah, I know everyone keeps saying Johnny B. Fitted said I'm good on Joey.
Yeah,
Joey Fuego, man, he's got the curve. Come on, man, give the guy a little bit of a break. I don't know, like if it comes down to Peterson or Lucchese, like we're really gonna roll with Peterson. Like I think Peterson hasn't really proved himself either. Like I'd rather Trevor Williams. He said, Trevor Williams is gonna get a highlight video probably because everyone's getting them.
Yeah. Listen, and to bounce back what we were talking about before, when bringing Stearns in, I do understand that point of where you fire Buck and things don't look good right away. It's like, oh shit, you brought in your guy and he sucks. Now the pressure's on you. I could see them riding with Buck in the beginning of the year for a little bit and seeing where it's at. But then at the same point, going off of what Vintage said, and what we were talking about before, the team is soft all year.
Yeah.
And it's been driving us all crazy. Yep. We have to change. That has to change. The clubhouse has to change.
Yep.
That's one of the most important things. It's got to start up top, too.
Yeah. I mean, and with the guys, calling each other out. You know, like
Yep.
I don't think you know, it's tough because we don't see what's going on in the clubhouse, but you know, it doesn't seem like the guys are really like calling each other out, and
No, not
everyone's
at all.
playing like shit. Everyone's playing
Yep.
like shit. Like that's basically what it comes down to. But no, like Dro said it, Vintage said it. You know, just the way Buck has been this year, we gotta you know, maybe move on. As much as I love Buck, and I think last year he was, you know, he was the man. Everyone loved
Yep.
Buck, but yeah, no, I guess the buck stops here, right? See what
How about
happens.
Ronnie? How about Ronnie right now coming up?
But
Let's
yo,
talk a
I
little
didn't even
Ronnie.
cut you off. Even
No, go
last
ahead.
season, Buck made some questionable calls, bro.
100%.
Yeah,
We all loved him, but he made questionable decisions last season.
yeah, yeah.
So
My
I
biggest,
that's
think
what.
that. I mean,
yep.
no, good
My biggest
point,
sense is
Roy.
the
I think you're right.
clubhouse.
I think
You
I
know.
think he's right. You know, it wasn't he didn't have like a, you know, a season with no errors at all. And he's old. You know, I feel like that older manager is getting kind of like outdated. I personally like the older manager, but I feel
Yeah.
like that older manager is going away now. Like, you know, there's not too many older managers anymore. It's that young, like Dro said before, those analytic guys that, and Bill brought up a good point. Like, you know, the manager's only really taking, you know, the advice of the up, like, you know, those upper, like, you know, Eplers and
Yep.
now Stearns and Cohen's, and you know, he's like the middleman, and I feel like he's gonna get all the shit, you know, and but he does make questionable calls with like pitching and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. You know, if they get rid of him, they get rid of him. If they don't, they don't.
See, I don't look at it as much as decision making because I always think of like, even though there's a lot of times Buck does something that drives me crazy, it's like if a thing goes right, we don't question it. If it goes wrong, we question it. You know what I mean? So I
Exactly.
look at that aspect. But the one thing that drives me crazy is just that pussy attitude that I feel
Yeah.
like we had. Like, you know, like excuse my French, but at the same
No,
point, I
yeah,
just
you're
feel like
right.
and it starts up top, man. If
Yeah.
someone's got to take the heat for it.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think like last year he was a little bit more fiery. He'd come out, he'd like pump up the players. I feel like this
Yep.
year he's just like the writing's on the wall almost. You know, he knows what's
Yep.
happening. He's just kind of like sitting back, and that's not what you want. You want your and you know we got hit a lot last year, and maybe that's why he came out a lot. But I don't know. I just feel like who like why not move on? You
Yeah.
know, but you know
Like
we'll see. We'll see. I
like
don't make
City
those
Boy Dre
decisions.
said, he doesn't have the balls we need, and I couldn't agree
No, no.
more. We need
Yeah, I mean,
guys smacking dudes in the
people
face. Like we need some.
knock people knock Aaron Boone, but at least he's coming out there and sticking up for his
Yeah,
players, you know.
no,
So
100%. How about
yeah, we'll
Ronnie
see.
though? To touch on a good aspect. Let's look at the
Oh
good thing.
man,
Love to
I
see this
love
kid.
it.
The only negative thing I could say is why didn't we see this kid
I
in
know,
May? We've been calling
I
for
know.
it forever. We've been calling
Yeah, we've
for it
been saying
forever.
it. Yeah, I know people in Syracuse were saying that he was lazy, but I think that was just like a motivation thing where they needed to bring him up. You know, they're bringing up
100%.
Vientos, bringing up, you know, all those young guys, and I think he deserved it. I mean, like I keep saying that, you know, that winter he had in Dominican League where he was the MVP and he was crushing the
Yep.
ball. Like, I don't know, man. They should have brought him up earlier, but I mean, whatever. At the end of it, like, it's not like he really made our season. Like, if they brought him up 2 months ago, it wasn't like we were making the
No,
playoffs with him.
I
But
agree.
still, like, I just want him to get at bats.
Yes.
I just need him to get at
You want to
bats.
see him develop. You want to see, like him just progressing in any
Right.
sense, which I think he's gonna, man. Like City Boy Dre said, he thinks he's gonna be amazing. Ronnie's going to be amazing. I couldn't agree more. I think the kid's gonna be a stud. I think he, from the moment he came up with the hardest hit ball of the season right away,
Yeah.
he's proven to us he should be up.
Yeah. I've been saying like Johnny B. Fitted said, you know, I thought Ronnie was the best out of those four. You
Yeah.
know, and like I think he deserved it. You know, they're comparing him to Alfonso Soriano, you know, and like he's a
See, I
stud.
thought Beatty was going to be the best of the four, so I've been really upset with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Beatty's athletic. I think he has that body style too, where
Yep.
you look at him, you're like, wow, this kid's a truck, you know. But I just feel like Ronnie has speed. He can play. I mean, I wish he could play shortstop, but I mean, obviously, I don't want Lindor moving.
Yep.
But still, like I think that's his biggest knock is they need to find a position for him.
Yeah.
But besides, that's a good problem to have. I mean, a guy that good Like, look at Ellie, Dela Cruz. Like, this kid's a monster.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ronnie could be that guy, that spark plug that, like you said, the first hit that he had was the hardest hit ball of the season. Yep. And he crushed that ball last night. And he's sick right now.
Yeah.
Like, he has COVID or something like that, or he has COVID symptoms. But, he destroyed that ball last night. And he legged out a triple, like, I love the way he plays.
Power
he
hits for power, the life he brings.
Right.
That's great.
He hits small ball, but he also hits for power. He could play the field.
The one thing that scares me though with him a little bit, watching him, he just doesn't look as smooth in the field to me sometimes, like as comfortable. Yeah. He's made the plays so far, you know what I mean? But like some routine plays where you look at him and you're like, oh, he just doesn't look like confident and smooth. But that could take time.
And maybe that's not just like he's just so used to playing shortstop that like playing other positions like kind of like throws him off. But I hear you. Like he doesn't have that like smooth no one's like Lindor, but still like has that smooth, even like McNeil.
If you could play shortstop, it's like you could transition to other positions pretty easily.
Second base.
And he just doesn't look like to me like fielding the ground ball, like just like the smoothness. You know what I mean? That you see from these guys.
Drew Smith's coming out. I want to give a shout out to Grant Parpan. All right, he's one of the best journalists from Long Island, Longwood graduate.
Oh,
he's a good guy.
Shout out, Longwood grad.
He's a good guy, man. When he was at the game the other night, and his son actually got a ball from DJ Stewart. He's awesome. A good guy.
I never met a bad Longwood grad in my life.
There you go. Yeah, Grant's the man. He's a huge Knick fan, a huge Met fan, just a sports guy. And like I said, he's a great journalist. So shout out to Grant. Shout out to Mark NY. Shout out to our chat, man. You guys are live in our chat. City Boys, Johnny B. Fitted. I love Ronnie. We didn't really, bring up before, but what do you think about Yamamoto, man? Do you think we just go in a bidding war? Because the Yankees look like they want him now too.
I mean, Brian Cashman goes to watch him. The guy throws a no-hitter when he's in attendance there watching him play. Yeah. And then the Yankees come out and say that they're going to spend more money than they did on Tanaka.
Yeah.
I can see the bidding war happening. He's definitely a guy that I want to bring in. So looking at Senga's success when he comes in here, seeing how much better Yamamoto's been over there, he's definitely a guy I want to bring in. What's up, Brett?
Got the bag, bro. That's
and we got Senga. We got Senga.
Well said.
All they have is Higashioka.
I can't wait, boys. I can't wait to see a bidding war where Uncle Stevie can come out and just wipe somebody out like the old school Yankees would do. Like, we've been waiting for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we've been waiting for that.
And like City Boy Dre said, we have Senga. The Yankees have a fake Japanese guy, Higashioka. He's not real Japanese. He's like fourth generation Japanese. We got Senga, man.
Hey, one out of the way. You know what I love in these games? You love upsetting teams. You love playing those playoff teams and playing spoiler, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's so great. I love that. Love that shit.
Yeah. City Boy Dre said, off-season's going to be fun, man. This off-season is this is a big off-season for us. We pivoted our focus and, it's a big off season.
Yeah.
We have a core. We need pitching.
Yeah.
Bad. Phil, you've been saying it for 6-7 months about our bullpen. We need bullpen. We need bullpen. And that game for Ever just said 4 starters and 4 relievers. That's tough, man.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
No,
that's a lot to ask in one off season. But if we can get Yamamoto, Snell, and maybe one more guy, like that's a nice 4 with Senga.
And I'm willing to rock, like Dro brought up before about Flaherty. If we're getting a Yamamoto with Senga, I'm willing to rock with a guy like Flaherty and maybe get another guy that's a step up from a Lucchesi and rock with a Lucchesi in the 5. Like,
I don't see anything wrong with Lucchesi. I know these guys are shitting on
I'm going to get ripped up for saying it. I'm going to get ripped up.
Yeah, no.
The guys pitch solid enough to be looked at.
Lucchesi's not our number 2.
No.
Definitely. Without
It's a 5 or 6 guy max.
Right. But those are the guys that make it, that help you out.
100%.
Especially there's always going to be an injury. I remember in the beginning of the season and, Cookie. I love the guy. But they were talking about trading him, and I was like, why not just keep him? Because you're always going to need that 6th, 7th starter in the beginning of the season. Because it's a long season. The season's it's not basketball, it's not hockey. 160 games is tough.
And you're always going to have your weak points on every team. Every team's going to have their weak points.
Right.
It's just how weak are they?
Like,
we've gone through a long time where the Mets have just trotted out terrible players that should not be major leaguers. Joey Lucchesi has proved that he's at least a major leaguer.
Yeah. Dro just said Fuego 5, spot starter, bullpen primary, perfect. And then Johnny B. Fitted and Mark NY just talked about Nola. I would love Nola. Stealing him from the Phillies, I love Nola. But he's an unrestricted free agent, I think. I don't know what's going on with him, but I would love Nola. I think he's like one of those hidden gems.
Yes.
I think he's definitely like the best starter on Philly's team.
Yeah, he's a great pitcher, and he's pitched in Philly. If you could pitch in Philly and deal with Philly, you could deal with New York.
Yeah, I would take Nola in a heartbeat. I know Dro said he's over the hill, but I don't think he is. I think he's finding his groove. I think some of these pitchers, sometimes you look at them and like the older they get, sometimes they get better.
Yeah,
it's
at certain points like that 30 from like 31 to 34, like you actually get good quality from them. I mean, hitting wise, we're not seeing that from the hitters lately in baseball, but I agree with you, pitchers, that you can get that a little bit, you know.
As long as they're not injured.
See, I wouldn't mind Nola at all as long as he's like our 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that guy he's our 3, I would love it. I think the prized possession for us right now, what I really want to go in and get is Yamamoto.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want Senga to have a friend.
And that's how it was last season.
Yep.
I thought Senga was the prize piece, and they got him. And I think they can get Yamamoto. Yeah. I think they can. I have faith that they can steal him from someone else. And like we said, we keep saying Senga's the piece.
Yep.
Senga's there for the piece. Scherzer back to City Boy Dre said Scherzer back to the mess as a ball boy. Yeah.
Hey, we touched on it before. Like, nothing would have made me happier to watch Scherzer pitch in a playoff game and get rocked. But, just this happening, I feel like what a deal by Epler. What a deal by Cohen to just get rid of this guy. I mean, perfect timing.
Yeah. I mean, for Verlander and Max, we got solid prospects. Mark NY brings up a good point. 2025 is the year with the prize free agent pitchers.
Yep.
That's why I even think they said they kind of showed their hand a little bit and said 2024 is kind of like a layup.
Yep.
That 2025 is the year that they're looking at. So I mean, if we get Yamamoto
and that's it,
and Snell,
I don't know. Even if we get Snell, just a Yamamoto and maybe like a Flaherty or someone just to throw innings.
Yeah. Yep. Burns from Brewers, someone just said. Yeah, I mean, maybe Stearns has a good relationship with Hader and he could bring him in somehow.
See, I love Kirby. I love Cora. Like, I love the assistant coaches. I even like Buck. It's just someone's got to take responsibility for the pussiness on this team.
Yeah. What up, Brimming? Brimming's in the building. Brimming 365.
Shout out everybody in the chat. I can't see it right now.
Yeah, the chat is heavy right now. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know what? We keep saying it, and it's true that we don't have a depressing ownership anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to what we talked about with Stearns, Will Ponds let Stearns just walk, right? Like, Stearns was an intern with us. Mm-hmm. Omar Minaya said, we need to lock this guy up. And Will Ponds like, no, we can't afford him. Let him walk, And, like, that's the difference between the Will Ponds ownership and the Cohens. I mean, I can't stress it enough that our team is in good hands. The Cohens aren't going to have egg on their face at all, ever. I mean, look what they did in this trade deadline. It just shows that they're willing to pivot. They're willing to show that they did something wrong and that they can keep going. Yeah, Brimming said Minaya had the vision. I wish we would have kept Minaya. He's a Yankee right now, but I love Minaya. And international players, like Minaya was the man. I love Omar Minaya.
He built one of the best, little like teams that we had. That blowing those years in 07 and 08 put a damper on everything, but we were competing every year.
Yeah. Dro said we have 3 minutes left. It was a great live. Bill from Top Fan Rivalry, thank you for coming on, man. Roy, How was
Yeah,
the game, Roy?
definitely. The game was good, fellas. It was exciting. It was good to be here and actually catch a win. You know, everybody was cheering. There was a lot of excitement. The guys did good. They look good. So, you know, proud to be a Met fan. You win or lose, that's what we're here for, brother.
So
You know,
Yeah.
and
only going to
yeah,
feel so much
definitely.
better when we win it all.
I can't wait, man, and I'm sure we all feel the same exact way. You know, when we do get the win, it's so exciting. If you forget the season that we had, you know, because you get excited for the win that we just got. So yeah, in all reality, you know, at times, you know, it sucks that the season we're having, but games like this, it makes you happy to be a fan, and that's what we're here for, man.
Yeah.
Love it.
This is what the real fans are still in the stadium.
I'm
You know,
here.
the real fans are still
Like I
following
said,
the
there
team,
was
watching the
probably
games
like,
every night.
I would say probably 12, 13,000 max here tonight,
Yep.
but these are the people that come out to the games, and we're here often. Excuse me, we're here often, win or lose, and we're going to continue to do this.
Shout out
And,
Hirsh for the amazing videos every week.
Yes.
Shout out
Hirsh
Hirsh.
Productions. He does the edits for the lives,
Oh,
so we appreciate him.
Vintage, real quick. Vintage had a question. He said, "Who's everyone's MVP on this team this year?"
I'm going Lindor right
Um,
away, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Roy.
yeah,
Phil stole Lindor real quick.
yeah, me too. My second, believe it or not, I mean, I'm gonna go pitching wise. I'm gonna say Senga, man,
Yeah.
because he's holding us down.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, so I got to give a big
Yeah.
shout out to Senga, you know, and a big appreciation for him, you know, because we lost some key players, key pitching, and the pitchers that we have, you know, they're starting to find a little groove, but it's a little too late in the season for that. But Senga's been holding us down, so I want to
Yeah.
say Senga also.
Yeah. Definitely Senga. I was gonna say Senga too. He just showed perseverance coming to the United States. You know, like that wasn't easy. You know, learning how to pitch every 5 days. I know they pushed him back a couple times, but I mean, that's unbelievable. The stuff that he had this year is filthy. Yeah, you could say Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo, right? Even like at one point Alvarez. I know Alvarez kind of like teared off, but I love the season Alvarez had, and the fact that Alvarez had the season he had. I wouldn't put him as MVP, but I think Senga is like head and shoulders above everyone else right now.
Yep. Pete's got to be considered too. I know he's had a rough year with the average and stuff, but to have
hand
he's
injury.
gonna have a bad year and hit 50 homers.
Yeah, he had a
Like,
bad
that's
year and had
crazy.
100 ribbies and 40 home
Like,
runs with a
Think about
broken
that
hand.
logic. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, boys,
You know?
I'm going to start heading
Yo.
out of here. Great live, everybody. This is Amazing Met Zone presents Friends of Flushing. Shout out to all the boys, man. Phil from Shirley, Drew Minotti 82, Drodo. Appreciate you boys holding it down. I was here live at the stadium. We did the best we could, and we hope everybody enjoyed. We'll see you next week, same time, 9 p.m. Wednesdays.
Let's go.
Let's go Mets.
All right.
Let's go Cowboys.
Not this week.